You're down in Tennessee where freedom is alive. You hear shouting from the woods, take out 45. Life is
Yes.
Life is good.
Thank you, Steve Lee. Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you from the beautiful hills of Middle Tennessee, the home of Alvin York, Sam Houston, Jeff Quinn, and all kinds of interesting people. Glad you're here. Came back out into the woods to visit for a little bit. Really do appreciate you coming by. It's getting nicer and nicer as the fall progresses. Okay. And you saw what I've got. I got something to shoot a little less noisy today. Thought it'd be fun. Just had I was in the mood to shoot something suppressed. The 300 Blackout. Do not shoot it enough. Partly because ammo has been kind of scarce. Got a few rounds in from Federal this week. Plus I had some, I don't even know who. Oh, that's the Federal. Well, it's in the farm. Let me unload it. This is some I got years ago. It's been, it's not been protected, weather-wise it has, but not temperature-wise. And I don't even know. I don't know. I bought it kind of a bulk. I don't know. But anyway, I've had it, and I should have been shooting it. And it's not a 220 grain round or anything. It was quieter than I expected right there, because it's kind of a standard load. But suppressor knocks it down a little bit, doesn't it? This is the Banish 30 suppressor, okay? And I sprayed a little ballistol in this thing. Not a lot. I think it is okay, fairly well lubed. We appreciate their help. And Talon Grips, talongungrips.com. Get you a better grip. They make them for AR-15s. And you know what? That would really help one of these, actually, because this is just a standard kind of low-end grip on that. I don't know. That was an earlier Daniel Defense. If I switched that out, or it came with that, I don't remember. Because the newer ones in recent years, they have the rubberized, grip. It's pretty neat. Okay, what was I going to do? I don't know. I was going to take a shot with some of this Federal. This will be a little quieter. I had my ears in for that other because I didn't know how loud it would be. Let's see, let's test the accuracy first, okay? Make sure we can hit that. Oh, did you notice as you all were, getting on board there, I was missing that red plate on the right. And as I wasn't sure what the heck I was doing. And I learned through trial and error, I was holding just a hair too low. I need to level up right along the top of the red, it seemed. Let me try it again. Yeah, of course I'm a different weight bullet here, but that was apparently the problem. Try the other one. Oh, low, I think. That was high. Okay, right there, we got her in the right place. Let's try the gong. Wow, pretty loud, isn't it? You remember my lesson from last week, the reason the 44 Special is louder, at least the gong ring, than the 44 Magnum. This is even a better illustration because you don't have much sound getting in the way. So when that slug, 220 grains of lead and copper, hits the gong, it just creates more noise, doesn't it? Oh. Okay. Okay, so I was holding too high. I don't know what's going on with my sights. I'm sure there's part of the problem. It's loose. Yeah, well, I think it's all right to get by. Yeah, that really illustrates it, doesn't it? Uh, and also, you know that the faster the bullet gets there, the faster the sound comes back, right? From the, you know, the sound of the hit from the gong, just the speed of sound is increased if the bullet going out there is faster. Okay, so if you got a slow bullet going out there, like a big old 45 slug, 45 ACP, when it does hit, the sound that comes back is slower as well. In fact, it's equal, I think, to the speed of the bullet that was going out there. And if you believed any of that, you know, I've got some beachfront property in Arizona to sell you, or in Kansas. So that's not true, is it? The sound is traveling at the same speed, no matter how fast or slow the bullet travels to get there, okay? Young people, I shouldn't mess with you like that. Although I figure not a lot of young people, not really young, would be watching a boring video like this. It's my guess. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. So here we are, good old 300 Blackout. It may be something you've never fired, never wanted. Yeah, it might be, but it is one of the examples of versatility of the AR-15. It's just, you know, you can put really powerful uppers on them and hunt anything virtually. You can put lower power. You can make a 9mm out of them, a 40, a 10, just about anything, right? I have a 9mm actually, carbine, Lone Wolf distributors, you know, put together years ago. It's a nice little firearm, reliable, takes block mags, you know. And see, I have this, the 5.56. Do I have any other calibers? And yeah, I do. I have a 6.8, right? A 6.8 SPC. I almost forgot. Whew, that's bad when you have so many firearms, you forget what you have. It happens occasionally. It does, and also where they are. You know, I try to keep it organized, but I had to hunt and search around in a few different safes for this thing today, I have to say. And it wasn't entirely because I misplaced it. It was because I was too dumb to recognize it when I saw it. Because I keep them in socks, as you know, and I could see the grip in here. No, I thought that was another AR. Okay, and I went all through myself, back around, look. Okay, it's got to be in that one. You know, that's where I normally keep it. And sure enough, well, let me pull that one out. And yeah, it was it. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna shoot this some. I've got some regular ammo. I've got, this is a subsonic 220 grain, and from Federal, and 300 Blackout. I'm gonna fire some more of that. Not too much. Subsonic ammo is really hard to come by, and send some more of that through the Banish 30 Gold, and probably talk at you about some. Oh, one thing I need to tell you early on. My gosh, I meant to before I did anything else. I ran into one of you. I hope you watched these in Clarksville, Tennessee, a couple of days ago. Actually, it was more than a couple of days. It was Sunday, okay, and you offered to lend me a CZ 75 for a video, and I wrote your name down and your number and said I would text you and everything. I think you're military, Fort Campbell, or maybe retired, but I wrote your name down on my piece of paper, on my to-do list, and I've been shopping for that day, and I was going to go ahead and text you just so I'd have the communication, and I didn't do it. And I lost that to-do list. I have looked everywhere. I rarely actually lose things. I might misplace it, and I gotta dig around and find it, you know. But it's not anywhere. I must have dropped it in a hardware store, like about a day after that or something in Nashville, because I had a list of things and was in Harbor Freight and around. I was looking around. But anyway, I was in Clarksville. We chatted for a while. And just to keep weirdo trolls from jumping in, if you have Facebook, write me on Facebook. Hickok, it has to be the Hickok 45 Facebook, the public page, and I'll watch for it. And or get by Tennessee Gun Country, and give your number to David Beta. He's got my number too. He can send it to me. And he owns Tennessee Gun Country. Or if you're in Ashland City, the Ashland City Armory, talk to Rob, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, so, but anyway, get back in touch with me. I know who you are. You know who you are. To prove who you are, maybe remind me of who was with you. There are two other entities with you, right? We had a little conversation there. And tell me where you were and where we met and everything. So I can not have to confuse you with any of the weirdos out there that would take it. But anyway, I really wanted to borrow that, and I just lost your number and your name. Sorry, I can't remember your last name. It may come to me, but I know your first name is Brian. I couldn't remember your last name, or I was going to just look you up. So anyway, please contact me through one of the sources, if you will. Generator update. Yeah, I've been still looking for generators, and I did find one, a small one, a Champion, but we're also still looking at possibility of doing a whole house thing, you know, with a Generac or Kohler kind of thing, and then getting some pricing on that. So appreciate all the help from last week, and several people chimed in. I learned some things, little tidbits there, and confirmed some of my own research and some comments people made about that. So that was helpful. And when I get settled into that, I'll let you know what I've settled on, what we've done there. So don't forget John's Comedy. He'll be in Chattanooga October 21st, 22nd, 23rd at the Comedy Catch. He'll be hosting, so check him out. And let me shoot something, okay? So you heard that. That was kind of neat, wasn't it? The kinder, gentler bullets. We talked about that last week, right? I don't know if these are kinder and gentler. They're moving slower. They're heavier bullets, moving slower. Here we go again, me giving you free information. Most of you know this, but if you're a young person maybe, or you just have never even thought about suppressors, you need subsonic ammo, bottom line, right, to make them work really well. That's why you hear someone shoot a 5.56, you know, or something like that with a suppressor, and you're expecting it to be totally quiet. It's not going to happen, is it? So you got to get down to below the speed of sound on your bullet, and heavier bullets are more likely to do that, right? Just naturally. It's why 45 ACP is so well suited to be suppressed, because most of the 230 grain hardball you pick up is going to be subsonic, almost all of it, and so it just is naturally suppressed. Whereas with some ammo, you've got to find some that is subsonic, you know, even 9mm. I think most 147 grain is subsonic, but if you end up with subsonic, we did a video on that, a subsonic 5.56, you basically have a 22, you know, so it's a kind of a strange thing. That was one of the claim to fames on the 300 Blackout. You have an effective firearm, it's a 30 caliber, and with a 220 grain bullet, you're subsonic, but so is a 45 ACP. It's not like you're shooting airsoft pellets out there. These are real bullets. They're not going 2,000 feet per second or 3,000 feet per second or anything. It's not 300 Win mag. You've got to slow it down. Still throwing out a 220 grain bullet. You're throwing out something, you know, similar to a 45 ACP in weight and everything, and I guess even in velocity, maybe a little more velocity, but still subsonic. And so again, you don't have, you know, 30-06 or anything, but you've got that sharp bullet. Pull one out here. Well, this is a different brand, but I think this is a 200 grain bullet. But you've got this configuration of it, you know, same weight bullet of a 45 ACP, you know, a pointy bullet, right? This maybe ballistically superior to a big old heavy pistol type bullet or round. So I mean, it's not, you know, the end all of all cartridges or anything, but it has its application. So let's take a couple more shots with it. Let's shoot a 2-liter here with this subsonic ammo and see what happens. You're still watching? Yeah, make sure. I guess I could take my ears out, couldn't I? There's a green one. Let's pop it. Boom. Yeah, I don't know. I probably shouldn't shoot steel this close, but that's cool. I'm gonna go there and hit that. What's it called? That coffin. Boom. On the last round. You know how I knew that was the last round? I could feel it. See, when you've been, that's another topic of discussion to make everybody feel bad, right? To act like I'm an expert. When you've been shooting long, most of you know what I'm talking about. When that last round is fired on a revolver, it doesn't make any difference, but on a semi-automatic, yeah, you know, especially on a handgun, because what happens on the last round? Generally, unless it's my Dan Wesson, the slide locks back. Yeah. Although you have seen, and maybe you've done it too, you're shooting and you keep still trying to fire it, you know, and it's empty. The slide is even locked back and you just don't feel it. Well, that's just because you're new to the shooting world. But after you've been shooting a while, that will be so obvious. I mean, so obvious when the slide locks back. Just the feel of that shot is so different, okay, because of the slide staying back. And and on a rifle, my real point here is even on a rifle where, you know, you don't see anything or anything, but the fact that bolt stays back, it makes a difference in the, I don't know, the recoil impulse and everything. It's not picking up around and going forward, and it's just very, very obvious. Okay, so I didn't have to look at it. I knowed it. So let's get some different ammo out here now. Shoot some. What else was I going to yak about? You know, speaking of that kind of stuff that I'm not going to charge you for, the Westerns. A lot of y'all really enjoy the Westerns. I can tell whenever I make a comment about Westerns and that kind of thing. And I thought of some more, a couple of more conventions that the Westerns rely on. It's not just the Westerns, but I think it's a little more obvious with them, because I think when they were filming a lot of the Western movies, and even today, it's just some things, because of the genre, have just been so well established that, yeah, it's okay to do that. You know, like if you're making a Western movie this week, you're in production right now, you wouldn't think twice about having a scene where there's a couple of guys facing each other on the streets of Tombstone, right, having a shootout. It's just kind of what they do. Well, a couple of the other things, one thing, packing two guns, you know, that's always more glitzy, you know, especially if they got two big nickel-plated Colts or whatever. Very few people would have done that. I mean, I know Hickok did, but very few people would have done that if they were maybe a sheriff, you know, marshal, town marshal. He might have, but it would not be common at all. Man, carry two pistols around. Yeah, pack two big 45s or 44s around. It's just a lot of extra weight for really not much of a reason, unless you are in the business of being in shootouts all the time. But trying to work or get anything done with that, as I've told you in cowboy action shooting, I've done that. You know, I wasn't in shootouts, but I spent the entire day walking around with a two-gun pistol rig, just as everybody does, pretty much, because you need two revolvers. And I mean, it's heavy and it's hot, and you're you know, it has a lot of weight, and just pressing against you. You know, I mean, it's not like you're dying from misery all day long. It's kind of fun, but it's a lot of weight. You wouldn't want to have to. I wouldn't want to have to hang around here and do stuff and picking up limbs or setting up for videos, bush hogging, whatever. You know, not me. I'm going to be packing two big pistols, maybe one. So that's something that is done. It looks cool. The no recoil we all know about. When they're shooting, do I have a handgun? Well, it's loaded. But, you know, they're holding it out there and nothing happens. Some actors are better at faking the recoil, you know, but most of them don't even bother. As you're shooting a 45, bam, nothing. Gun doesn't move. If you've ever shot a center fire, even a 22 is going to move a little bit. That reminds me of a movie. You never know where I'm going. What was it? It was Hostiles. Good movie if you've not seen it. It just came out a few years ago. And really, really good one. I mean, I don't know what the rating is. Whenever I recommend a movie, I don't know what the rating is. I'm an adult. I don't have to think about it. Right? But that scene where the lady's family was murdered, basically, and all that, and then I eventually catch up with some of the murderers, let's put it that way. And one of them is on the ground, I think, already dead or whatever. And somebody's shot, and she's over there in that very moving scene because she is, distressed to the max over her experience and everything, and her kids killed and everything, and she's over there with a revolver, just emptying it slowly. It's a single action, in this guy, just boom, and she is actually faking a recoil. But it comes back to bite her on the butt, though, because everybody stops what they're doing because the fight is over, and the engagement, and yet they hear this gunfire. So she's over there, boom, because the rage, because they killed her family, and it's not that she's an extremely violent person or anything, and she is, bam, cocks it, bam, and she just keeps going. She'd like to shoot 100 rounds, but it's a single action Colt, I guess. Well, anyway, on the last round, she does the same thing, click, and as she's shooting, if I didn't tell you, you see my hand, she's faking the recoil, which they usually don't even try. She's going boom, boom, kind of like that. I have to look at it again. I may be wrong. Boom, and then on the last shot, when she clicks, or maybe she clicks maybe a couple or 3 times, I don't know, she keeps trying to shoot, but then when she goes click, she's the recoil too, so it proved to me she wasn't shooting real ammo. She was faking that recoil, but at least she was trying it. She just, I don't know, she didn't know when it would quit firing, or actually they don't really use real ammo anymore. I don't think even I know they don't use real ammo. They don't even use blanks anymore. So that might have been the problem, come to think of it. They might have told her, trained her, fake the recoil, or maybe she just knew that. And she was tired of seeing all this shooting in movies with no recoil, and she was going to do something about it. But yeah, that could have been it, because they dub in the sound and even the CGI, the gunfire from the barrel, so they might have been doing that. I have to look at it again. And so they just told her, just keep doing that. We'll tell you when to stop, because we want you to keep shooting even after the gun's empty or something. Who knows? But anyway, that's enough on that. That's one thing you said. The other thing, getting shot in the arm or leg. It's interesting, or getting knocked over the head. That's something that's always been a part of the Westerns. It's a convenient convention, because say some outlaws are robbing the bank, and it's some old episode of The Lone Ranger or Gunsmoke. It could be any of them. Most of them weren't famous for gratuitous violence. People are always getting shot. But they didn't really show blood much, that kind of thing. Just, oh, you got me, and it'd fall or whatever. But a convenient, a thing there is to, say they're breaking someone out of jail, and they come in, and they can't have the sheriff following them or screaming, from the cell if they lock the sheriff up after they break out their buddy. If they put him in there locked up, he's going to be hollering for help, and then someone comes, lets him out, and then they're chasing down. So rather than shoot him and kill him in cold-blooded murder, quite often what do? They bonk him over the head with a pistol barrel, right? Knocks him out. So he's out for whatever, an hour, 30 minutes, and they're long gone, and he wakes up and he tells a story, and he's holding his head, but he's fine, right? That has happened 1,000,000 times in the Westerns, 1,000,000 times. And it happens all the time. And so kids probably get this impression, sadly enough, you could just hit your buddy over the head with a pipe and he'll be all right. He'll go to sleep for about 10 minutes, then he'll just wake up holding his head and everything will be normal. You know, whereas really a bad concussion or be dead. You know, but anyway, it's really, really convenient for the movies. It just like, if you want a little more drama, it's nice if, you know, there's a gunfight and it's Matt Dillon, it's one of the key characters, it's a star maybe or whatever, and somebody shoots and, you know, he goes down. So, oh man, they got Matt Dillon or whatever it is. Well, you find out they just got him in the arm or in the leg, and then same old deal. They go over there and roll him over, and he, oh yeah, they got me, you know. And he's got his arm in a sling, and he's okay. Like it didn't even really hurt much, right? Well, yeah, ask any soldiers coming back from Afghanistan or Iraq that took a bullet in the arm or the leg or whatever and hit the bone. Whew, that's nasty, nasty stuff, and you know, you bleed to death, and you know, just not good at all. It beats getting shot in the head or the chest, I guess. But anyway, they minimize that as well. So a lot of that is kind of minimized. Now, that's just free information. Isn't that amazing? You just don't know what you're going to get, do you? But the westerns are fun. They're fun. I think partly they're so popular. Well, there's lots of reasons they're popular, but there's violence, but you know, it's not so graphic. It's not so graphic. And in a lot of the westerns, there's a pretty good plot. And like I say too, they often would teach some ethics and morals, you know, in the process. Something we don't get much of today, right? All right. Now these are the supposedly the full speed rounds, I think. Again, by some mystery manufacturer. I just don't remember who made these. Let me see if I can do without my ears. Yeah, that's louder. I'm gonna put those in. You can tell it gets there faster, right? Lighter bullet, faster bullet. Better not shooting steel. Boom. I can shoot paper though. I can shoot that propane tank. Knock him down. Boom. Hit that root beer 2-liter. Knocked him over again. Boom. Nice. The suppressor again on a rifle, most of you know this, it's not going to silence it. Well, now the 300 Blackout comes close, but it just reduces the signature. And you know, in battle, and you know, in Vietnam, they would use them in battle at lots of places. And war, it makes it harder to know where the sound came from. Reduces it. And also, I read that it's also as much for the shooter too, as much as for just, you know, kind of dampening, you know, the sound signature a little bit. So, what else are you dying to know about? Hope you enjoy the change of seasons you saw this week. That's the third one of those we did. I always bring that up. That first one we did several years back, I just enjoyed doing it, and I thought it was just neat. You know, watermelons and pumpkins together, and then it wasn't for a few years. I think we sort of brought that back last year. I think it was, and so we'll do that as a yearly thing, maybe. You know, it's just fun. What can I say? Blowing up pumpkins, blowing up watermelons, and you know, the transition this year. You notice John's artwork. You know, the hat fell off in the middle of it, but whereas I started, we forgot that there might be some blast. You notice you have to behind the scenes info. Those work best if we drive nails kind of behind the watermelon, 2 or 3, you know, behind each one. If you look at that video where they're shot off there, you can see the nails at an angle, kind of just so it'll stay on the board a little bit, you know. And you could put more in there, bigger nails, whatever, to hold them, so that they'd, otherwise, if you just set a melon over there and just, okay, balanced it to where it wasn't falling off, and then you got one here, like whatever, 8 inches to the right of it, when you shoot that one, it's going to blast the other one. It's going to roll away. It's just going to happen. Those are things you learn in this business, right? Important things you learn. There's no college course in it, you know, shooting watermelons, but you just have to learn through experience. If you enjoyed that. And of course the CX4 Storm. I told you, we enjoyed that gun and shot the heck out of it. Lots of videos with it that will trickle out. Just a lot of fun, So shooting is fun, if you didn't know that. It really is. Oh man, I should have some advice for young people before we go too far, shouldn't I? Just think, gotta get hot, well, I got it warm. I think I did have some advice for young people. Yeah. You know, some people go through life as a sourpuss, and then they wonder why everybody else seems to be a sourpuss and never invites them to anything, right? I guess my advice is to, as young as possible, try to be self-aware enough that you realize that you, I don't know, maybe you have a negative personality. There's no crime in not being outgoing. I was very shy. I know as a teenager. There's no crime in that. A lot of people are very shy, especially as they're younger. I was really shy. So was John when he was young. But be aware of it. I probably wasn't, I don't know. But people just react to you differently. And also not just being shy, maybe not being very friendly at all, you know, ever, or maybe having an attitude. That's, I guess, more to the point, because a lot of people do have an attitude, whatever that means. Think the world owes them a living, or that you know, they know it all, they're a know-it-all, whatever it might be. But sometimes that is the reason that you become even more negative, because you get negative feedback from other people, and not necessarily overtly. They just maybe don't necessarily want to be around you. They avoid you. You don't get invited to their parties or whatever it is, you know, events. And maybe go look in the mirror and ask yourself, maybe, why I never talk to them. Why should I be upset if I don't get invited to the party? I never speak to those people. Or I have an attitude about things, you know, because karma, you know, karma, it's a real thing, and it comes back on us, you know. Whatever we reap what we sow, you know, so to speak. So just be aware of that. You can't expect to have friends if you are not being a friend to people. A lot of ways to say it, right? But sometimes it's easy to drift into a negative attitude, thinking the world's out to get me and that sort of thing, even if it is. And, you know, just be aware of that. People don't owe you or me anything to be friendly or nice to us. You know, I mean, you sort of have to earn respect from people, you know, and I think we forget that sometimes. So, you know, you may have gotten participation trophies playing soccer when you were 15 and 12, you know, every week or at the end of the year, whatever, you know. But yeah, out here in real life, people kind of treat us just however they want to treat us, based on how we treat them. Sometimes we might treat other people really well, and they still don't treat us well, you know. So we're not really owed any specific type of treatment. Just be aware of that, and then whatever vibes that we might be giving off that contribute to the fact that people shun us, right? Don't want to be around you, maybe. I don't know if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't. Can I just shoot some and shut up? There's an empty. We haven't had a malfunction yet. These 300 Blackout mags, and we've been shooting, you know, some heavy bullets. I think I got some more. You know what I might do? I might open another package of these Federal and shoot some more of those. Okay, a couple of these 220 grain bullets. That's kind of the weight that I think you're looking for in 300 Blackout if you want subsonic ammo. Yeah, don't you think? And some of you may have a lot of experience with the 300 Blackout. You know, feel free to share what your experience is with it. These new cartridges kind of come and go sometimes. This one, I think this one is fairly successful, and it's going to hang around. It's not it has a kind of a specific purpose in a way, but it does that really well. Suppression, I think. See, with a short barrel, it shines in short-barreled suppressed, you know, rifles and that kind of thing, maintaining you know, the muzzle energy and, you know, the reduced sound and all that. You might have more application, you know, in military than anywhere, or special ops. I don't know. But also fun for us, right? Because we have a Second Amendment and still live in a relatively free country, changing fast, so we can shoot the same stuff, right? And have the same stuff. Comes an aeroplane. He doesn't drop a bomb on me. Flying low. Wow. It's a, can't see through the trees. There it is. I think there's a biplane. Cool. Cool. There's a guy not too far up the road here that has a landing strip. That's, I guess, who that is. So you noticed I maintain my high level of maturity. Just because there's a biplane or whatever flying right there, I don't know how high that is. I feel like I can almost throw a rock up there. I didn't swing this rifle around and point it at him. How dumb would that be? That would, I would think, be very illegal, in fact, right? So, in fact, I intentionally didn't pick it up. I mean, it's my business. I'm on my property. I can shoot. He's up there flying around. I'm not going to shoot him, but still, you know, I want to respect people as much as possible. All right, we got some 220 grain ammo here, and I've got a relative. I didn't bring a screwdriver over here. I don't know. Maybe it's not as loose as it appears. Let me see if I can hit anything with it. All right. Had more trouble than normal. Just figured out where to hold the sights for some reason. Okay, I'll bring it up a little. Okay. There we go. I was off windage wise on one of those, but that one I was holding 12 o'clock. Perfect. You've heard of 6 o'clock hold. That was 12 o'clock. Perfect. You try that same hold on the other one. There we go. All right. How about that same hold on the coffin? There we go. I think I'm not getting a clear, also to add to that, I'm not getting a good clear sight picture as far as windage. Not bad, but good enough for combat. How about a orange 2-liter right down here? Look at him, look at him bleed. That sounds violent, doesn't it? I could probably shoot these targets right here. I might shoot that furthest plate down there. Boom. Boom. Because again, you're talking about the velocity. It's very similar to a 45 ACP. I don't know why I'm worried about it. Yeah, it should be fine. Pretty cool. ARs are fun for you folks that don't have them. I know I'm more apt, it seems like it anyway, to bring out a revolver on Sundays, Sunday shoots. I do pretty often. And I've talked about that before, how, you know, where I'm just bringing out something I want to shoot and in the mood to shoot. I like the machinery of a revolver or a lever gun and those kinds of things, as a lot of you do. But again, these are interesting, they're fun, and they represent a lot of potential. You know, as I say, they're the teeth of the Second Amendment, you know, today's world. And they are the most popular modern sporting rifle firearm, you know, on the market. So it's good we have them. It is good we have them, and so many millions of them are out there. Yeah. So what else before I get out of here did I want to bend your ear about? Anything? Anything brilliant? Yeah, I'd be looking a long time, wouldn't I? You know, I had something occurred to me. Oh, I wanted to thank Fun Gun Targets that make our targets for us. I think I forgot, and Ashland City Armory that checks in our guns. Again, thank them occasionally. But it occurred to me, what is an outdoorsman? Okay, man, well, you know, outdoors person. What's an outdoorsman? There's a bit of I don't know. It just strikes me sometimes. I'm surprised sometimes. I'll tell you why. It hit me a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. There are people who kind of almost live outdoors, or live on land or a farm. Maybe they farm for a living. They live in rural areas of the country. Whether they're educated, highly educated or not, or educated at all or not, there are just people who choose to live in rural areas. You know, live in the woods, kind of. And some farm, some don't farm. They may raise some cattle, or they may work in the city, but they live out in the sticks somewhere and got some acres and all that. And then you got people that maybe live in apartments or live in the city or suburbia or whatever, but they're out every weekend canoeing and maybe rock climbing and doing all those sorts of things, you know. But I've noticed there's a difference. There is a difference, you know. That's one of the things that came to my mind, how somebody doesn't compute. People that go camping and rock climbing and go canoeing, there's a difference in a way. Everybody has an appreciation for the outdoors. Me, because I have put a lot of money in being able to live in the outdoors. I supported the oil companies, you know, my entire life, because I've commuted, you know, from out here in the woods to wherever I was working, you know, for decades and decades, the price I was willing to pay. And but there's a difference, I guess, between people who live in the country, again, regardless of education or experience, life experience, and people who live more of an urban lifestyle, but they're out every weekend camping or something, or, you know, biking. Or this hit me. I was going into REI, okay, you know, outdoor store, a few weeks ago, and I was in Nashville and Brentwood and around the areas, and I was running a lot of errands. I was in and out of a lot of different places, and I don't know about where you live, but, you know, in Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, there's not many people, you know, wearing face diapers, you know, that kind of thing. We were sort of going about your business and in and out of where you're going. There's still people that have not got the jab yet, so they're worried about themselves or whatever. And but by and large, you know, it's just pretty much open. But I went to REI and had on the door that I forgot what the wording was, but it was like strongly recommended that you wear your face diaper and stuff. And there was a gal, an employee at the door, and I asked her, I said, because I don't even know where mine is now. I haven't seen it since March, you know, since I got vaccinated. But I said, don't tell me it's required. And she said, oh, no. But when I went, I noticed most people were wearing them, you know, and I thought, wow. And there is a difference. You know what I'm talking about, don't you folks that have been around a little bit? It seems like people who live in the rural areas, I don't know, they're just, just a different attitude. Just a different attitude, you know, it just really is. And I guess the thing that didn't compute with me to some extent was these people in here shopping around, they're buying a canoe or a little stove or something because they're going to be in the mountains this weekend. They are more fearful than by far than anybody in my county, you know, and out here in the rural world. And they're heading to the rural world, and maybe they spend a lot of time in the rural world, but it's just a total difference in attitude. It's just interesting, you know. And some of it's at the store, but just you know what I'm talking about. You know, it's just there are people who visit the outdoors, and there are people who live kind of in the outdoors, I guess, and that's an extreme. But I don't know. Just occurred to me, kind of a weird disconnect there some ways. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shoot a little bit more. I'm going to let you go because I'm a little bit earlier this week because my grandson's coming around this weekend, and I didn't want to miss talking to you and giving you my lame weekly advice. Do I have any more ammo loaded? Thought I had some. Oh, here's some more of these. These are a little faster. So if you know, Florida falls off the map or something, oh, I still got some more of those. You know, on Friday night, and I am not. That's why I'm not mentioning it. Okay, I got a couple more of those left, so let's shoot them. All right. I might just put one on the hog. All right. I got him. Right in the bad spot for him. I tell you, I'm gonna put these in. All right. Nice. I'm impressed that those faster ones fire. They were some of them were kind of soft points, and I bought a big bulk of those, and excuse me, is from a gun shop that has since gone out of business out in the Brentwood, Franklin area around here years ago. And again, they've not been even kept in the basement, out in the shed or something. Just yeah, but still work. Ammo is more durable than a lot of people think it is. Ideally, is like anything you want to preserve, you want to keep it in a constant temperature, preferably not too hot, especially and all that. But man, there's a lot of surplus ammo has been bought and fired over the years that was real surplus, probably in ammo cans and kept outside in the freezing cold and hot temperatures. And I bought one batch of 5.56. Oh no, since I lived here, so within the last 20-30 years. And I had trouble with almost every round on it. And I don't know if it was some kind of surplus. I have a feeling that was some other factor, you know, what it was, because AR-15s, generally you don't have problems with ammo. There's that one batch that I did, but most of the time with surplus ammo, she's fine. Now, if you're bench resting for groups at 300 yards or something, and you've got some 40-year-old surplus ammo, or it's been mistreated like this ammo, you might uncover inconsistencies that are too subtle to notice, just shooting like I'm doing. but you know, you get out there and they might be, you know, every fourth round might hit that much lower or that much lower or something at 200-300 yards. I don't know. Maybe some of you have more experience with that. But it kind of comes back to the fact that most firearms and most ammo, it's more reliable than we are, or more accurate than we are. It may be more reliable too, right? But it's more accurate than, at least than we can shoot standing and shooting, you know, offhand. So, which is the way I prefer to shoot. So, anyway, the old Banish 30 gold. This is neat, sticking that on there. This is the AAC flash hiders. One of these, if I have the right, we had, now we didn't really own them, but they make a suppressor that clamped on over that. You might recall, you know, but I still keep that on the firearm. And shoot. So I'm gonna probably let you go. And did I forget anything? No, nothing you're dying to know about, I'm sure, right? So appreciate your all support, and if you come back next week, I'll probably be standing out here with some firearm that I'm in the mood to shoot. Yep, probably will. And I again really do appreciate your all support. Y'all keep us coming back. This is fun to do, and as long as y'all keep finding us and watching the crazy videos, we'll probably keep doing it. So it's your fault. It's your fault that I'm out here doing this. Okay, you know, it's your fault that I can't totally retire, right, and just sit on the porch and read Shakespeare or Mad Magazine, right? Well, it reminds me, I got the new Tucker Carlson book, The Long Slide, yesterday. I had bought it at his website, and I thought I'd buy a signed copy just to support him. It was another $10 or something, you know. I didn't really need a signed copy. He signed another book for me when I was here and wrote a nice message and all that, so I didn't need a signed copy, but I thought I'll do that anyway. Well, that held it up. So for a few weeks, I think. But good book, interesting article, interesting pieces in there. I haven't gotten very far in there, but I'm enjoying that. He is a true writer, like I mentioned to you, whether you like his politics or not. He is a writer, writes everything he reads, you know, on the shows at night, and it's obvious, you know, from his books too, you know, that he's a very good writer. But so anyway, you're not going to let me retire, and so I'm just going to keep shooting whatever I want, right? And a few things maybe I have not chosen because I'm such a nice guy. If I get so many requests for something that I actually hate, I'm just going to go ahead and get a hold of it and shoot it for you all because I'm just so altruistic, right? Well, actually, there aren't many firearms that aren't interesting to shoot. Even if it's not my cup of tea, it's interesting to have that experience, you know, of shooting that and how it's made and why it is that some people like it or why most people don't like it. You know, it's just interesting to have that experience, you know, with that firearm. And so we're very fortunate that we're able to do that. And the ammo, have even in the ammo apocalypse, that we are able to get ammo from Federal and keep shooting. And so it's a lot of fun. So thank you for your support. I don't thank you enough. And people that watch these videos especially, because you have a high tolerance for boring people, right? But I appreciate you coming out and standing here in the woods and listening, you know, watching me shoot. I mean, if you didn't, I wouldn't do it. If you guys weren't out here, why would I do this? Then I would be insane if I just went out in the woods and started talking to myself or to a tripod, right? So y'all have a great week. I hope you get a chance to shoot, and be kind to your neighbors and your cats and your dogs, okay? Be nice to them. It's hard to be nice to a cat sometimes. And Slamfire is a good fellow. He's easy to be kind to. He's my buddy, Even though he did throw up in the house today. He doesn't do that too often, but he did. So we'll forgive him because he doesn't get hairballs all the time, and he's not always doing that. And he's outside often enough. He may do it more outside. I don't know. He's a character. He thinks I'm his buddy. He just is like a dog. He'll follow me around all the time. Want to go in the house when I go in. I got to start being meaner to him. Yeah, that's what I need to do. So I'm not going to get off on another subject like cats. I'll see you all next week. I appreciate you coming by. It's been great having y'all out here. You've been very quiet, very attentive, and you haven't really affected my aim or anything. Life is good.